military chiefs Buratai and Abubakar to appear before International Criminal Court over alleged human rights abuses and extrajudicial killings, all compiled in a 500-page document. A former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, retired, and his Nigerian Air Force counterpart, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, retired, will soon face criminal charges at the International Criminal Court over alleged human rights abuses and extrajudicial killings during their times as security chiefs. According to a civic group, the Africa Center for Human Rights, an extensive organization, has been carried out on the two former military chiefs, and the center has gathered sufficient evidence in a 500-page document to indict the former service chiefs at the ICC in The Hague, Netherlands. The 5-year, 6-month tenure of Buratai and Abubakar was allegedly characterized by abuses and extrajudicial killings of Nigerians by soldiers. Speaking for the African Center, Dr. Ifure Atafure catalogued on Tuesday that alleged atrocities under the two former service chiefs, which would be tendered at the ICC. In 2015, Buratai allegedly ordered the army to kill over 500 defenseless Shiites on the ground that they touched a general's chest. The incident, which was tagged the Zaria massacre, has further worsened the insecurity situation in the country. He is also believed to have ordered the October 20, 2020 shooting of innocent civilians who were protesting at the Lekki tollgate and sanctioned the extrajudicial massacres in Oigbo and Igbo settlement in Rivers State. The soldiers and officers involved in the killings were never prosecuted or punished, an indication the atrocities were committed with the approval of the army leadership, the group said. Atafure said, meanwhile, civilian fatalities from airstrikes in conflict areas across Nigeria were a recurring dilemma under Abubakar. In April 2020, at least 17 people, mostly women and their children playing under mango trees, were said to have been killed when a fighter jet belonging to the Nigerian Air Force accidentally dropped a bomb on Sakotoko village in Damboa local government area of Borno State. In September 2021, a dozen civilians in Buhari's village in Yanusari local government area of Yobe State were bombed by military aircraft, and more than 20 other residents suffered different degrees of injuries. 2 weeks after, 20 fishermen were killed when the Air Force targeted terrorist camps in Kwata, Daban, Masara in the Lake Chad area. Ground troops were also victims of these accidental bombings, in quotation marks. In April 2021, some soldiers were killed after a fighter jet belonging to the Nigerian Air Force shelled a military truck in Mainok, Borno State. But just as ICC Chief Prosecutor Fatal Bensouda said last year that the court had received sufficient information to investigate the pair for alleged war crimes, they were confirmed as ambassadors. While Buratai was posted to the Benin Republic, the Senate confirmed Abubakar as the country's ambassador to Chad. Article 29 of the Vienna Convention protects diplomats from arrest and grants them immunity against civil and criminal prosecution. Diplomats must not be liable to any form of arrest or detention. They are immune from criminal prosecution although the sending country may waive this right under Article 32, it states. However, nearly a year or after, Abubakar in particular can be prosecuted after relinquishing his role to join partisan politics. He is the governorship candidate of the APC in Bauchi State for next year's general elections, and the Africa Center for Human Rights said it had compiled a 500-page report or document and will petition the ICC to resume its case of corruption, rights abuses, and extrajudicial killings against the former CAS. Atafure added that Abubakar should be in jail in the first place and not rewarded for his crimes in a sane society. He noted that the center had been in touch with the ICC, and the coming days, the retired Air Marshal would be invited and prosecuted. Atafre said Abubakar must provide explanations for the multiple avoidable crashes under his watch, despite billions invested in purchasing fighter jets. Quoting the forms of crimes against humanity listed in the Rome Statute, he said under Abubakar, the NAF committed murder, rape, imprisonment, and forced disappearances, enslavement, particularly of women and children, sexual slavery, and also torture. Well, firstly, what is really interesting to point out is how conveniently, we heard Buratai retired, and obviously this was during the time of the whole Igboho hunt, and conveniently he just became the ambassador to Benin Republic. And obviously I thought personally this is a very random position. I guess obviously it is retirement package, whatever. And then to find out the benefits that come with that, and also for the other, individual, Abubakar, who happens to be the Nigerian ambassador to Chad. What? You genuinely think, okay, fine, this is your time to retire. But obviously, with these retired, generals, the fact is they have to be immune, because during their tenure, of course, with evidence against them, they have committed a lot of crimes. Firstly, in 2015, the incident mentioned of how Buratai, gave an order to kill 500 people for touching a general's chest. I'm like, what? So now you understand the kind of orders they've been taking. And of course, for the fact that they give out these orders, especially with the Lekki massacre, and nobody was held accountable, just shows that it must have been an approved order. Because really, in that situation, those army officials should have gotten the consequences for their actions, but they haven't. And that is a very big problem. So it will be very interesting to see what the ICC would say about this, because for you to have a 500-page document which outlines all your atrocities, then you are not escaping anything. And I am sure that this, if you can even have access to this 500-page document, but the fact is, will the ICC take this with all seriousness, given the fact that they've both retired with immunity and therefore cannot be liable to any criminal charge or whatever? And it's unfortunate, but what a smart move from the government, or what a pre-planned move. Put what you think about this in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.